Okay, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot right here, hopefully your favorite official content creator for the First Descendant, and today what I'm going to do is show you my Viessa build. Many of you guys have been asking me to update it, and I have today. It is also very good for Void Erosion Purge Stage 10, alright? So this will be what carries you. Now, I'm going to go through it step by step like we always do, but I'm also going to try and go through it a little bit faster than I normally do. So if there's anything you don't understand, ask in the comments and I'll try my best to answer. All right. And before we go on, don't forget, if you haven't already done so, make sure you register me as your content creator. The link is in the start of the description. All right. All you have to do is scroll down. Literally one of the first lines there. It says support me as your creator. Please do so, because the more people that support me, the more I can do for you. And it also helps other people find out where they can go for good information. All right, let's get started. Okay, so this is Viessa, and every build starts by buying the bikini skin. If you don't have this, then you are uncool. Nah, I'm just kidding. All right, you don't need a skin or anything like that. Now, when it comes to your reactor, you will most likely want to have a weapon mounting that will match your speed stick of choice. What do I mean by speed stick? Your speed stick is whatever weapon has multiple sprint speed cores on it. In this case, I'm using a Secret Garden, not because there's any benefits to Viessa at all. I just really want her to move fast. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. In actuality, if you want to finish off bosses faster, you can also go with an ATOMS, but I don't have one yet. So I don't have one built specifically for Viessa, so I'm not using that. But anyway, main point, all right, is that you have to have the right mounting, and I'm just going to actually remove my cam there so you can see everything better. Make sure you have the right weapon mounting for your speed stick so that Viessa gets the full benefit of the skill power from the reactor. You are going to want a chill singular reactor with skill cooldown and skill critical hit damage, because that will help to multiply her damage. Make sure to max out these options and you're good to go. In terms of external components, you want a 2 set of the Plague, and then I preferred a 2 set of the Hunter for skill cooldown. All right, so I went with a Plague Auxiliary Power, Hunter Sensor, Hunter Processor, and a Plague Memory. This gives quite a bit of hit points, and also for the rolls on your external components, make sure you get max HP, defense for the core. Okay, that is the same for all of them. All cores are max HP defense. For the auxiliary power, the component rolls should be max HP, MP recovery out of combat. For the sensor, max MP, and try to get MP recovery in combat. I happen to have HP recovery modifier and I've never changed that, but realistically you should get MP recovery in combat. For the memory, you want defense and shield recovery in combat, or you can go with like whatever else you want. The shield recovery in combat's not as important, but defense is. All right. And for the processor, you should have max shield and I believe shield recovery modifier. But if you happen to have equipment drop rate increase, you can also have that. All right, there's no right or wrong answer, but the main thing is max shield. Okay, once you have all of this, okay, you've got your reactor and external components. The next thing is your speed stick. In this case, it is your weapon. Now, your weapon is not very important here, but in case you want to know my rolls on this, all I have is rounds per magazine, weak point damage, firearm critical hit rate, firearm critical hit damage, because originally I used the speed stick for Freyna. Okay. The weapon core rolls are sprint speed, and just 1 firearm critical hit damage. That should be enough. For the modules, you can screenshot this, but I actually just threw Freyna's build on it. I did not actually modify this for Viessa because, again, I'm using this as a speed stick. Cannot emphasize that enough, okay? All right, it's just to help her go fast. Now, you understand the weapons, external components, reactors. Let's talk about her modules. For her modules, this is what the setup that you're going to use with Viessa. Why? Because this helps to consolidate all her skills and make them all singular, so they all benefit from the reactor. That's what I like about this. So, without further ado, let's carry on. You're going to use the Absolute Zero Transcendent module. All right. This modifies her passive and all of her skills, transforming them all into chill singular skills. She gets a base increase to her skill critical hit rate. All right, and she will obviously be able to toss out the projectiles continuously. As long as you land critical hits on an opponent, ice spheres will spawn around you, which is absolutely fantastic. This happens every 1.5 seconds. That's why cooldowns are very important for this build. Okay. All of her skills, as you can see, are all singular. All right. So in order to benefit that the most, here's what you're going to need. For her survival, I use Battle of Stamina. Why Battle of Stamina instead of Increase HP? Okay, this is because of the way that Blizzard works. Blizzard does damage every 1 second. That means every 1 second that it's active is a tick of damage. If you happen to extend the duration even slightly, even by the smallest bit, right? Although it's not a full extra second, you get 1 extra tick of damage, which has always been the way that Viessa's Blizzard works. This allows you to capitalize on that, getting 1 extra tick of damage before it detonates and delivers the burst damage. So that's why we're using Battle of Stamina. She has more than enough survival, even with Battle of Stamina, instead of increased HP, all right? In terms of cooldowns, you want Nimble Fingers, MP Conversion, Focus on Chill, and Focus on Singular. All of this will help her skills cool down fast. Okay, I'm gonna remove my cam again just so it's a bit easier for you to focus. But basically, all of this is for cooldowns. You want to max out the amount of cooldown she has. Okay, the Focus on Chill and Focus on Singular also boost up the power of all your skills, so they are very useful. Focus on Singular is less useful, but it is what it is. Okay. Then, in terms of criticals, you want Skill Insight, Skill Concentration, and Front Lines. This gets her as close to 100% critical hit rate as possible without sacrificing too much damage, all right? Then you will have MP Collector, which will help her to regain MP as much as possible. And Skill Expansion is to increase her skill range. She's got a 250% modifier, so Skill Expansion alone is enough. Technically, you can also put on Amplification Control, but we don't have room in here because MP Collector is much more valuable considering how much you are going to spam your skills. So that's why range took a bit of a backseat in order to go for more damage and all that. All right, so that is the build. All right, and now we're going to talk about Inversion Reinforcer. You can use your regular farming loadout, chill focus rounds if you're going to use this for VEP 10. Selective neurostimulation, MP recovery is obvious, and adrenaline rush is again pretty standard. If you find that your survival has issues, take this off and put on biodensity augmentation. All right, for a bit more survival. But adrenaline rush is good enough. Okay, great. So now you understand the full setup. Let's talk about Arche Tuning. Arche Tuning is going to look exactly like this. Now, because Viessa requires all her skill critical hit rate stuff, all right, and her cooldowns, she has to sacrifice skill power here, okay? So some people have suggested that because of the way that this is set up, you can choose not to use the Hunter Sensor. I still prefer it with the Hunter Sensor for maximum cooldowns. I won't even take 1% less because that's how important cooldowns are. Then for her mutant cell, I'm using Frostbite Vulnerability, which basically increases her skill power anytime she inflicts an enemy with Frostbite. Sorry about that cough. This is excellent because skill power acts as a separate multiplier and will help her deal more damage. So Frostbite Vulnerability is the right choice here. Okay, so all of that put together basically turns her into an absolute beast. Now, what you will need to understand is how this works in VEP. So, now that you've got the Arche Tuning, Inversion Reinforcer, and all that, let me take you straight into Void Erosion Purge. We'll go straight to stage 10. I'll clear it with Viessa, and I'll show you how this runs. She runs faster than an S, obviously, because the stage 10 enemies are weak to chill. You know, somebody was saying that, you know, how can Viessa be faster than an S? Well, yeah, elemental weaknesses are a thing, okay? So please remember that. You're going to have to take into account elemental weaknesses. If you don't, you will struggle. Okay, so here we are in the field. You can see that her crit rate with all this is 96.285, more than good enough, okay? Here's how you play the build. You start running in, you toss in a Blizzard, and look, your cooldowns are so fast that you can cast your skills as much as you want. As soon as your Blizzard cools down, okay, start murdering the Panzer and you're good to go. All right, just like that. Just like that. As soon as my Blizzard's ready, I put it down. All right, you don't even need like a high level skill to play this build. It's just literally cast your skills as much as you want. It's like turning your skills into a gun. Is that crazy? You can also use your second skill to move around a little bit faster if you really, really want to. All right, I'm relaxed about it, but you can do it if you want to. I don't sweat it too much because for me, I'm already satisfied with what I got.
Stay where you are. Freeze. Don't hate me later.
Now, the biggest gripe that you will have is probably the cooldown for Blizzard itself. So, although this is far better than the creators of World of Warcraft, your Blizzard is the biggest limiting factor here. Thankfully, it's not full of microtransactions like Diablo 4 and Diablo Immortal. Okay. keep killing your way through everything. Like I said, just cast your skills. Relax and cast your skills. All right, whoa, those are some really weird frame rate stutters that we're getting. But even if we're getting weird frame rate stutters, it's no problem. This game is very jittery. Like, I'm filming this video late at night, and this is the first time I've had jitter like this, which is odd, but okay. Sorry about that. I just was wondering why we were jittering so much. Still, it doesn't really matter. It's not like I cannot kill these guys because of jitter.
Stay where you are.
There we go. You can keep your icy legs on. I love the way they ragdoll when I hit him. It looks so cool. Just make sure to pick up plenty of MP. I know you're going to recover a ton of it, but it's also best to pick it up. However, if you don't like MP Collector, you can choose to further increase your power in other ways. You know, add something else into the mix. It's really your choice at the end of the day. Now, once you get to this guy, just shoot him with your gun until the full debuff is applied. All right, you don't have to actually worry about your gun dealing damage, but you do want the full debuff to apply to him because that's, well, how you kill this target. Now, running out of MP is probably going to be your biggest gripe here, so be aware of that. And don't get interrupted while casting, because if you do, then, well, you're not going to have a great time. Anyway, the other reason to have MP Collector is mainly for the end sequence here, where you will need to kill his minions and recover MP that way. Alright, sure, you could rely on the MP drops, but they're not that consistent. You can, in fact, do this way faster with the ATOMs. I'm already at 2 minutes 58 seconds, but 2 minute and 15-second runs are very possible. Alright, if you have the ATOMs to absolutely annihilate the boss at the end, that's it. Bada bing, bada boom. You're done. Now, ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching this. Okay, I hope that this was informative for you. You can use this for farming as well, but mainly the idea is to use this for Void Erosion Purge. So I hope this will help you out for those of you that love Viessa that much. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment if this build helps you. All right, share it with your friends or whatever else you want to do. And before we go, let me thank all of our top supporters for July. This list has actually been updated, but I've only got the old one for now. Top tipper is Dan Wenban. Top super chatter is Lawbreaker. Top super chatter list includes Kabak Dan3, Jody Wilkins, Sir Tommy, George Tishon, Dan Wenban, Eddie X79, Amelia, Leroy, Ronnie Macy, Gypsy Warrior, Foxy Kim, Toothiest Wolf, Louis Acosta, Baron Von Crash. Top channel membership gifter is Arcane Silver 300. Top channel membership gifter list includes Jody Wilkins, Hankip Mock, and Dan Wenban. Thank you guys so much for all you do for me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't do anything weird while I'm gone, okay? I'll catch you later.